The UFC has already flat out told me they want me fighting contender series level guys minimum, and Lally's that guy.
In my game plan, I also know when it really comes down to it, if it does turn into a dog fight, it's going to be better for me.
Woo! There you go, the champ, Jojo Giannetti. What's going on, my man?
What up? What up? How you guys doing?
Hold on.
What's going on, Jojo?
We were
What's
just
up?
we were just talking about this fight, January 16th, 2010. There you go.
You have hair in that picture?
I had hair in that picture. Reality Fighting Detonation. So it'll be our 14-year anniversary. We were just talking with I don't know if you were able to tune in, but we were just talking with Justin Valentin, who is cousins with my last amateur fight, Johnny Lopez, and he said his first experience at a fight was coming to that fight to watch me fight his cousin, and here he is in the co-main event.
That's crazy.
Of Cage Titans 63. I love the setup, man. Is this a new setup for you?
Yeah, I redid in my office. This is like my stream room now.
Nice.
I mind the cat creeping in the back.
The belts on the wall. You looking good. You're looking all right, my man. You're looking a little better than us. There you go. So hey. So
he's got that official headset and everything.
Damn right. Listen, when you're playing Call of Duty, you got to hear everything. It's life or death in there.
You guys, people that take Call of Duty serious, take it serious. I still have people that are mad at me from the college days for messing up their KD.
Yeah, you can't. Don't mess with that. That's real life.
I don't even know what KD is, but okay.
See, I didn't know either. It's a big thing.
All right. Well, anywho, the 170 belt, we kind of know the history. We talked about that at Cage Titans 62 leading into that. Jack Congdon was scheduled to fight Pat Casey. You were kind of on the shelf a little bit coming off, the fight prior to that, Cage Titans 61. You were on the shelf kind of figuring out what was next. I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to do.
I got my ass kicked. You could say it.
Hey, listen, brother. Listen, I'm trying to say it without saying it. So you lost on 61. You were kind of regrouping and things of that nature. You mentioned to me giving up the 170 title, which I'm just trying to tell the story, made the pathway for Congdon versus Casey. Funny thing happen. Congdon gets hurt.
Funny thing happen.
Funny thing happens. I'll try, come on.
I saw your trying.
Fine, let me get it showing. You got your ass kicked. You lost. Then you gave up your belts. Then you said, nah, just kidding. I'm coming back and I'm going to recapture it. And then I'm done. And then all of a sudden it was, nah, I'll defend it. I'll defend it. So there you go. I was trying to think of the words to say it in a nice way.
I appreciate the effort. The effort was there.
Jojo, we go a long time back.
He was trying.
I'm just trying. But anywho, you jumped in the title fight.
It sounds like a political slogan for Biden.
Now I know why Biden has it so tough. You try to play that political line, where you're not being what do you
think's gonna happen?
Yeah. But anyways, you won the title, knockout of the year nominee. You were the runner-up, actually, if we didn't announce that, but you were the runner-up. I think it's hard to say Hassan's knockout, he knocked the dude dead. I don't think you're mad that, but knockout of the year, amazing performance. And then fast forward the next month, we're getting ready for Cage Titans 63. We had either a guy at 55 or an intriguing, what I call it, a Cage Titans dream matchup against Lally. It's a name we floated around in the past, and you kind of like, hey, listen, I'll eat over the holidays and fuck it, let's roll.
Yeah, been nice.
Did I sum it up all right?
Yeah, no, that was a good way to put it. No, but it's been nice. I've just been lifting and eating through the holidays and training. It's been a few years since I've been able to actually enjoy Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving and stuff. But it definitely helps in the weight room.
There you go. Obviously Lally is a name that's been kind of around for a long time. You were at 55, you kind of moonlighted at 70 here and there. And here we are finally putting this fight together. What have you seen from Lally over the years that let's start nicely and impresses you about Lally, and then we'll say what doesn't impress you.
I mean, the dude hits like a truck. I mean, whether you're fighting him, not fighting him, like him, don't like him, like the dude hits hard. I think that's been a constant throughout his entire career. You see him land overhand rights and puts guys to sleep, and then you see him land these like glancing shots and guys just fall down. So he's got the power there for sure. But I really think that that's kind of just like his biggest attribute.
What do you think is a big difference maker for you in this type of matchup? Because quite frankly, like 70 wasn't your future because as you mentioned, but it was enough. You must have seen something that made you want to stick around at 170 to defend this in this particular matchup.
Yeah, for sure. It's his accolades, Like I said before, the UFC wants me fighting contender series level guys, and that's him. He's that guy. He fought on the contender series. The other opponent that I got offered at 55, really has no big accolades. So a guy like Lally that everybody locally knows, you get that local hype, and then a guy that's been on the international stage at the contender series, you get that worldwide type of hype. So a win over him, just does much more for my career as opposed to, hate to say it, but for lack of a better word, fighting nobody at 55. And it also puts me in a good spot to go back down to 55 and take my belt back.
There you go. You're speaking about world, national accolades. Something big just came out this past week. I think you were an honorable mention as like a fighter who in 2024 should be getting another look and maybe could be signed to the UFC. Obviously that's still your goal. How does it feel to see your name still kind of, being spoken of like that? And do you think that Casey fight kind of like, how did that turn your 2023 around and kind of keep you still in that radar?
I think it was just kind of the stamp that I needed to like, show people. Like I don't just pick people apart on the feet. Like I'm putting people out. Whether it's a choke or, jump and switch kick to the head. A lot of people after that fight were like, "Oh, so you're done with lightweight?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "No, no, no. You should be done at lightweight." Like so many people want to see me just make a run at 170. But I know my body and I know I've got a few more years at 55. So it's definitely cool seeing my name tossed around as like should be in the UFC, might be in the UFC soon. It just lets me know that like all this work isn't going unseen because I'm sacrificing and busting my ass in every front in my life, honestly. So seeing that attention on the national level it's pretty cool, and it gives me a little bit more motivation to keep going.
And just to bring back that bounce back fight against Pat Casey with that phenomenal knockout, like you said, you're showing what you're capable of doing, and the streak that you're overall on. You've won 7 of your last 8, something crazy like that. But what learning lessons did you take from that loss to Dufour, losing that title? You talked about the motivations, but what about the lessons that you're bringing into that? Because now here you are jumping up a weight class, facing bigger, stronger opposition, and looking amazing doing it, and setting yourself up with another fight at 170. But how has that motivated you from that loss?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an overall lesson that I've been, even my last 5 wins before due for it, that I've been reminded of at almost every fight. Whether everybody said like, "Oh, that was your best performance to date" or not, I keep coming out of the cage and saying like, "No, I can do more. I can do better." And it's not, I'm not digging on myself, but it's just, sometimes I'm in there and like I feel like in that flow state, and other times I go in there and I'm like, "All right, not like shake the rust off, but I got to get into that zone." But the problem that I had is I felt like to get in that zone, I needed to have the perfect storm. I needed to have the perfect preparation, the perfect fight camp, the perfect weight cut, the perfect rehydration, and then it'll all go according to plan. And granted, I didn't have the perfect, fight camp for due for it, but it was any other fight camp that any other fighter has. You have your shit, your bumps, your bruises, whatever. And I went through that, but other than that, the camp did go flawlessly. So I was like, all right, here we go. Another day in the office where everything's going to go flawlessly because it did in preparation. And obviously it went as far from flawless as it possibly could. So when I got back in the gym and then, a little while later got offered the Pat Casey fight, I said, yeah, right off the rip. And I meant it wholeheartedly. And then I sat there, with that text sent. And actually, I think I fell asleep before I sent the text. But I woke up the next morning and I had my phone and I was like, no, I want to do this. But then I just sat there and thought, like, if I sit around and wait for everything to be perfect before I fight or before I live my life, I'm going to be dead before I'm done living my life. So it's not about waiting for the perfect storm, but it's just about going out there and doing the thing, you know? As much as I took that fight with Pat Casey, short notice, yeah, I just kept telling myself, I'm not taking this on 10 years notice. I'm taking this on 10 years of experience that I have fighting in this sport. And I'm just keeping that mentality moving forward. I don't care if I get a fight with somebody on a week's notice, 2 weeks notice. I've got all this experience from the past that I'm bringing with me, and I don't need the perfect storm anymore. I'm just going to go out there and make sure I do my thing. And when I do, I'm one of the best in the world.
Honestly, like that kind of hit some deep with me, because I've had this talk outside of the fight world and just in life in general. And like, people, you're absolutely right. People wait for the perfect whatever to like finally do something. But I think so that is well documented. But I also think that what you just let us in on, it's hard to let us in on, but here's the reality of life. Everything can go perfect and you still may come up short. So like, that's something I was talking with a good friend of mine, and he was like, oh, my kid doesn't understand. He's doing this. He's saying after, he's doing extra credit, and he's just still not getting the grade. And it's like, you can do everything perfect and it still may not work. That's just what life is. How do you handle those situations? To be honest, he did not send that text, because the next morning I'm like, no pressure, Jojo, but like, if you want to be on the beer can, which we ended up getting, we pulled it off.
We did get there.
I was like, if you want to be on the beer can, like I'm literally going to print tomorrow. So just if you need more time, I'll go to print as is. These are the type of things that we got to deal with here at Case.
I think I typed it out. I think I had just gotten home from training. So I think I typed it out, and then I sat in bed, and then I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh, I hope I hit send. And I didn't.
He wasn't trying to rush you for your own accord. It was just for the big.
That's all right, because I got put on the poster, but it says Congdon next to my face.
So it was crazy because I got everything like correct. Like, so again, one man show in some areas. Like, I had to fix the beer can. So I fixed the beer can and do all that. I had to fix the posters. I had to fix this. I had to fix all the graphics. And then it was literally like, I fixed the poster that we signed at the weigh-ins, but I forgot to change the name. Those are worth money. Those are like, what do they call those? Like the cards that have the
misprints.
Yeah, misprints. There you go. The keep with the lightheartedness. Ben Joy says Joe is a camping rat and cod.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what a camping
Never.
is.
Them's fighting words.
What's a camping rat? That means you just sit there and like
you just sit in the corner. You're just behind a door waiting for somebody to run in Call of Duty.
Oh, that's dirty.
That's terrible. The way I put it is like, if I work all day and I text my buddies, I'm like, hey, you want to go play Call of Duty and sit in four corners of a friggin' room for 2 hours and hope somebody runs in? That's not fun.
That Joe, we used to train together back in the day. It's like same thing when we played jiu-jitsu. It's like, I'm not just gonna sit and guard. Like, throw your neck out there. I'll give you my arm and like let you try to like do something. I'm not sitting here to look at you. Like, I'm not sitting here to look at you in your guard. Like, come on, take a chance, have some fun.
Some ADD, I swear.
It could be that.
We could die, but at least we'll have fun.
Yeah, exactly. I'll die with a smile on my face.
Were you engaged prior to your last fight? I forget. I'm trying.
Yes.
Sometimes everything smushes together.
You want to know the worst part about that? Not the engagement. Hold on, time out. You want to know the worst part about that? I saved myself.
That and send it to Shawnee right now.
Don't do that. But right after Dufort tapped my ass out, he said, "Sorry, bro. Don't worry. 3 more and you'll be back at it." And then he took 2 steps away and he walked back and he patted me on the shoulder and said, "By the way, congrats on the engagement. My coaches said I couldn't congratulate you till after the fight." I was like, if I could beat your ass, obviously I can't right now, I would beat your ass for being so nice. But like, he was such a nice dude, and I was like, thanks. I was like, don't apologize. Like, I know what I signed up for in here, but thanks. But I got even madder. I'm like, why can't you be an asshole?
I gotta say, obviously, you've mentioned earlier that you want to get that belt back and you want to go after Dufort, but he's not on this agenda for this show. Did he win you over at all? Because I see you guys, flirting in the comments, throwing like little love hearts at each other in the Instagram comments.
Yeah, he did, and that pisses me off more. Like, he messaged me like this paragraph after we fought, like the next day. It was a really nice paragraph, and all I said back was like, "Can you just be an asshole so I can be mad at you?" And then he said okay and sent me a middle finger with a kissy face. And I was like, thank you. Was that so hard?
Yeah. There was a comment that you wrote on the year-end awards. I forget what it was, but it definitely had me laughing. You were like, oh, that didn't happen. Or I don't remember what you said. Do you remember?
I said a couple of them. One of them was the Chael Sonnen line.
What was it?
It was like, I misinterpreted the rules. I thought if I tapped, it was the end of the round, not the end of the fight.
There you go.
You love the Chael Sonnen.
I love
videos.
Chael
Did you
Sonnen.
hear one about like road rage in his hometown the other day? He was like, that's Chael P. Sonnen, the P standing for icon. He's just lines. He doesn't stop.
Jojo, you should just go for the Chael route and just be like, or Sean O'Malley route and just be like, I didn't even lose that fight.
Yeah, I'm undefeated. Did you see my comment yesterday? That video, I don't know what it was. That was AI. That never happened.
No, I told Sean O'Malley, you definitely lost that fight.
I mean,
if
if
you go that route, I would just tell you. No, it's like,
hey, if you want to go the route, we could just maybe like play the route like, hey, he won on American soil. Since he's Canadian, it doesn't count because he doesn't have dual citizenships. He has to beat us on his home soil to count. I'm just trying to help you out, Joe.
Funny things come happen.
My problem is I couldn't keep a straight face to say that. That's what I'm lacking. Shale says it with a straight face, and I don't know how he does it.
It's great.
But anyways, yeah, Dufort, he's a gentleman. He's a nice guy. And we're actually, he's waiting for a UFC call, but there is some talks. His team hit me up. If it doesn't come to fruition, he might be making the trek back in March. So there you go. But anywho, so coming into Sean Lally, what can the fans of yours expect? Anything different, or what can they expect from you on fight night?
Bull in a matador. I tell people all the time, like, I'm down for a dogfight. Maybe a little too much. People always say how calm and relaxed I look, or how flowy, or how technical. But like, I don't think anybody understands how when I get in there, I'm like chomping at the bit. I'm like, that Jacob Bone fight. I'm like, let's just grab each other by the back of the head. Let's hockey fight. Let's see who falls down first. And that's what I'm fighting in my head every time I fight, is like, just go out there and stand and bang. Let's just see who's the tougher guy. But I also know that there's easier paths to victory. And with Lally, it's just pick them apart and use my footwork and be the matador.
In speaking of this matchup, I see a lot of people have said some similarities between Casey's style, that bull and matador, Casey being the bull. Do you think that you're going to take some stuff that you learned from that Casey fight into this kind of matchup? And though the fans are mentioning that they think that they're very similar, do you think that they're similar style?
I think the striking is very similar. I don't think that Lally has the ground of the wrestling like Casey does. He has a lot of threats from there. He's very dominant against the cage. He's very dominant on top, whether it's guard or mount or side control. I think Lally probably hits harder than Casey, but I do think their striking techniques are very similar. But I do think that there's a lot of traps that, I used and traps I didn't use against Casey that I'm going to use against Lally that I just don't think that he's seen or is ready for. And I also think that there's plenty of things that I did because I was just being lazy in the Pat Casey fight that I'm not going to do against Lally, it being a full camp. So, I think that it's going to be a similar fight, but a little bit more crisp on my end.
There you go. What do you got for him, Andy?
Man, this is one of those love, hate fights because, in the Vegas with you, on the road trip down to Florida with Lally, you guys are both people I respect as athletes, as fighters, as men, as people, as friends. It's going to break my little heart at the same time as excited to a point where the blood is boiling over, and it's just a matchup that is a fan-friendly matchup. I love the Bull and Matador matchups. I want to see how, I just want to see how it plays out. You guys are two people I've been a diehard fan of through and through. I've watched both of you on TV, losing my absolute shit watching you guys on the global scale. And now I get the excitement and the heartbreak to call you two fighting each other. And yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. I got 3 weeks to just sit back and look forward to it. And this is one matchup where it's all honor that I get to call, and can't fucking wait for it.
We're gonna get stressed, Andy, in the booth.
Oh, it's already there. You have stressed Andy this whole time. He throws bombs, and you got to see Mellon holds up against him after watching that last fight played out against Casey. You were rolling with shots well, and like just like we were talking about Mitch seeing the incremental improvements throughout the career. It's the same thing. Remember seeing you as an amateur, but starting to call you like really early on in your pro career and just seeing the growth.
Did you call the Jose Rivera fight?
No, that was before. I think.
I don't think there was commentary for that fight. Thank God.
No, it was. I think the first fight I called to yours, Alex Dolan. I want to say you were 1-0 as a pro, I believe. So I think there might be a second pro fight. It might have been your pro debut. I can't remember.
Do you remember?
I remember that. I think there was commentary for the Dolan fight. I don't know if there was for my pro debut. I don't remember.
Who was your pro debut?
Frank Falso.
Nope.
Oh, he's a heavyweight now. He actually tried to get on my card as a heavyweight.
No way. I saw him. He's been doing a lot of grappling tournaments.
For sure.
Did not call that fight.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get on.
So yeah, that's how long I've been cage side for your career. So like it's in a blink of an eye, it's 8 years, something like that, and to see it come to a head here, just super excited. We're gonna.
I think that this fight, Lally's coming in, so as we're gonna bring him on in a minute, and then we'll let you go, and I'll keep on with Lally for a little bit to touch up. But I've said going into this is kind of a dream matchup for cage sides fans, in my opinion, and myself. Because I think you guys have both grown in front of our eyes. Like, what would you say to, like, is it a dream matchup for you, or is this just another kind of guy? And a dream matchup doesn't mean you have to like look up to him, but is this like a guy that's like, oh, you know what? I kind of always had a side eye on him. We all know who your biggest dream matchup is at local Cage Titans. But, is this one of those dream matchups for you, or is this just kind of another day in the office?
It's definitely just another day in the office for me. Me and Lally have kind of had our past. We've exchanged words before. He's asked to fight me. I know that. But, I'm just staying active, getting a check, and keeping another dub in the roster. I've got a lot of big targets that I want to get after, but I feel like staying active is the best thing I can do to prepare for those fights.
Cool. I didn't know they had words, so that's something new.
Well, I remember that this was a fight that like was rumblings way back. Like I think before even your Ultimate Fighter days. That's how long ago I remember this being thought of in the clouds, and then it's just now it's here.
Now here it is.